A warm welcome to everyone once again to our YouTube channel. So today, we're going to look at the full story of the movie, The Teacher. So without any more delay, let's dive into the full story of the movie. The movie begins with a sports teacher named Devika waking up late in the morning. Devika's husband, Shujith, is getting ready for work at this time. The previous day was the school's sports meet, so Devika came home very late. But for some reason, she doesn't remember anything that happened the night before. So she tries to recall those events. At that time, she realizes that her earring is missing. She assumes it must have fallen somewhere. After that, Devika goes to do the bath. While doing so, she begins to suspect that someone might have taken advantage of her the previous night. But since she can't remember anything clearly, Devika is very disturbed. Devika's husband Shujith works in a hospital. As a low-level worker, Shujith's best friend is Kevin. He shares almost all of his problems with Kevin. Later, Devika goes to school, and when she asks the security guard for the badminton court key, she learns that she went home very late the previous day, and he himself saw her leave. But since she remembers nothing clearly, Devika enters the badminton court, walks around, and finds her missing earring there. With that, Devika realizes she had come to the court the previous day. Soon her best friend at school, teacher Geetha, arrives and asks why Devika came to school today since she could have taken leave. Devika replies that she'll be going to her mother's house for a week starting today. Later that evening, Shujith picks her up, and together they go to Shujith's mother's village. Actually, Shujith's mother lives on an island. She is like the head of that island. Shujith's mother treats Devika like her own daughter. So Devika and Shujith spend some happy days on the island and then return to the city. About a month passes by in a normal routine. One day, Devika takes a pregnancy test out of suspicion. At this moment, she finds out she is pregnant. But she isn't happy about it. Because Devika strongly suspects this isn't Shujith's child. She believes it might be the result of whatever happened on the day she can't remember, a month ago. To put it simply, Devika has a strong suspicion that she was raped during the school's sports meet. But she still doesn't remember what exactly happened. Then, suddenly, Devika checks the internet to see if there are any obscene photos or videos of her online. But she doesn't find anything suspicious at the moment. So she begins to wonder if maybe she's just imagining things. But she keeps investigating. On another day, Shujith and his friend have a few drinks while Devika is out. Shujith's friend asks for a cigarette. Shujith goes near a cupboard to get a hidden cigarette pack. At that moment, Shujith finds Devika's pregnancy report inside the cupboard. He finds out that Devika is pregnant and assumes she was trying to surprise him by hiding it. So Shujith is really happy and even shows it to his friend. That night, Shujith casually asks Devika if she has anything special to tell him. But Devika, worried, denies and goes to sleep. Still, Shujith thinks she's planning to surprise him later. The next morning at school, while browsing the Facebook profiles of some naughty students, Devika sees that one of the boys she suspects has an elder brother whose wedding is coming up. This boy also lives near Devika's mother's village. So Devika decides to attend that wedding to investigate. She calls her younger sister and says she'll be coming to the village for a few days. On the wedding day, Devika first goes to her mother's house, but then she attends the wedding, which is the wedding of Sandeep's elder brother, a boy she suspects. Devika assumes Sandeep's closest friends would also be there. But she realizes none of them came. Sandeep doesn't seem like a bad guy at all at first glance. He warmly welcomes Devika when he sees her. Devika says she realized he was nearby when she arrived, so she came over. As time passes, a village troublemaker tries to sabotage the wedding and throws acid at Sandeep's brother. He is rushed to the hospital. Devika also goes along. Sandeep tells Devika that his brother only suffered an ear injury, so it's not serious. By now, it's late at night. So Sandeep offers to drop Devika off at the bus stand. On the way, Devika asks about his friends. Sandeep says they were too busy to come. Just then, Devika gets a call from her husband, asking if she has reached home. Devika lies, which makes Sandeep a little suspicious. He realizes she lied to her husband about where she is. When they arrive at the bus stand, Devika leaves her handbag inside Sandeep's car, under the pretense of checking if there's a bus. But in truth, Devika came not just to check for a bus. She had turned on the voice recorder on her phone and left it in the bag. She wanted to secretly record Sandeep in case he spoke to his friends. After a few minutes, Devika returns to the car and pretends she found a bus and says goodbye to Sandeep. Now she's very anxious to find out what her phone might have recorded. When she plays the recording from the beginning, she confirms everything she suspected. After she left the car, Sandeep called his friends and said, "Did the teacher suspect something? She came all the way here and asked many questions about us." His friends replied, "Don't worry. The drugs we gave her ensured she wouldn't remember anything. They also threatened, if she causes trouble, we'll leak all the photos and videos we have of her." With that, Devika realizes that she was gang raped by Sandeep and his friends. She also understands that the reason she remembers nothing is because they drugged her. Now it becomes very hard for Devika to mentally cope with this incident. She returns home and tells everything to her sister and mother. The next morning, Shujith visits the doctor who confirmed Devika's pregnancy. Before Shujith can explain why he came, the doctor asks, "Why did you and your wife decide to abort the first child?" Shujith is shocked. The doctor reveals that a few days ago, Devika had asked whether it was possible to terminate the pregnancy. Shujith, knowing nothing about this, becomes distressed and decides to go home to confront Devika. At home, Devika is deeply disturbed. On Friday, Shujith comes home. Devika tells him everything that happened. Now, Devika fully remembers what occurred that day. After the school sports meet ended, she went around checking if all the students had left. Finally, when she approached the badminton court, she saw Sandeep and 3 of his friends partying with music, celebrating their win. She congratulated them and told them to go home. One boy handed her a small chocolate. She chatted briefly with them and started to leave, but they resumed partying loudly. When Devika returned to tell them off again, they started teasing her. Then, the chocolate they had given her made her faint. The truth was, that chocolate was intended for a female student. But they mistakenly gave it to the teacher. That's how they ended up gang raping Devika. She regained consciousness several hours later. It was late at night, and she couldn't remember anything. She left school, got into a 3-wheeler, and came home. Now that Shujith has heard the full story, he finds it very hard to accept. He yells at Devika and leaves the house. Later, Shujith tells his friend about it and asks for advice. Eventually, Shujith decides to take Devika to file a police complaint. But once they reach the station, Shujith hesitates and tells Devika that filing a complaint will ruin their lives and reputation. So he begs her not to proceed. Under pressure, Devika agrees but leaves the house, angry at Shujith. Because what she wants is justice. She goes to see Shujith's mother. When Devika tells her everything, Shujith's mother says, "Don't be afraid. I'm with you. Let's teach those boys a lesson. Tell me what you need." Then, Shujith's mother sends one of her trusted aides to help Devika. Because she has strong connections with police and other powerful people, that aide turns out to be a SID officer. Devika decides the first person she will take down is Naveen, the leader among the boys. Currently, Naveen works as a food delivery guy. The SID officer tells Devika everything about him. Following her plan, Devika visits the shop where Naveen works. Pretending to have seen him accidentally, she starts talking. She tells him she's in the area for some work and asks if they could meet sometime. Naveen falls for it and she gives him her number. That night, Devika starts texting Naveen, pretending to be interested. The next day, she arranges to meet him in a room. Devika's goal is to bring Naveen there and confront him with the SID officer. The next day, Devika gets ready to go with the SID officer, Mani. But Mani is called away for other work. She tells Devika not to worry and says she'll arrive at the right time. Devika, although scared, decides to go alone to the hotel. It's an empty hotel that rents out rooms. Devika enters the room and pretends to be interested. When Naveen gets close, Devika asks to freshen up and goes to the washroom. She calls Mani, but the phone doesn't work. She can't wait long, so Devika gathers courage and steps out of the washroom. Now, Naveen is missing. Suddenly, he grabs her and tries to get close. But it turns out to be an act. Naveen knew all along that Devika had figured everything out. He punches her. Then, his 3 friends also arrive. They tell Devika, "You thought we were stupid. We didn't share your video anywhere, even though we have it. Let's settle this. Here's the video. We'll delete it in front of you. Then we go our separate ways." But Naveen wants one last time to be with Devika. Sandeep disagrees. Naveen yells at Devika and tells her to leave. As she walks out, she suddenly locks the room from outside. The boys are surprised. Devika starts beating them up. She didn't come here just to talk, she came to teach them a lesson. We find out she isn't an ordinary teacher. Devika has been trained in karate since childhood, so she's not easy to fight. Devika beats them badly, takes her nunchaku from her bag, and keeps hitting them. 2 try to escape, but fail. As mentioned earlier, Mani arrives on time and waits outside. Eventually, Mani also joins in to handle 2 of the boys. Finally, Devika locks all of them in a room, sets a fake dynamite near the door, and leaves. The boys scream in fear, promising never to do such things again. As Devika walks out, it's shown that the dynamite is fake. She brought it just to scare them, not to kill anyone. She just wanted to teach them a proper lesson. So, Devika successfully carries out her plan. A few weeks later, Shujith comes to meet her. He says they should start over again. But Devika refuses. She doesn't want to continue life with a man who wasn't by her side when she needed him most. Devika says she once needed someone's support to survive. But after all this, she has grown strong enough to face life alone. So, she decides to raise her child by herself and separates from Shujith. Though Shujith is saddened, he respects her decision. And with that, this powerful movie comes to an end. So what did you think about the movie? If you liked it, don't forget to give the video a like. And if you're new to the channel and enjoy movies like this, subscribe and turn on the bell icon for all notifications. We'll bring more amazing movies to you soon. Until then, goodbye and best wishes to all of you.